All right, what's on the bench? We're going to do a teardown today. Redivus keeps giving me all these radios, and they don't have much of a resale value. I had this one actually on eBay for a while, but nobody wanted it. So I said, let's go ahead and tear it apart then. So what is this thing? It's a GMRS radio. And so it's going to be something around 460 megahertz. So we have an antenna. Interesting. It's a male, not a female. That's different. Anyway, let's see. Let's take out the battery. This is a model NR30, frequency GMRS. I did a review on this a while back. We could save the battery, open it up, take the battery out. It is a 7.4 volt, 2.8 amp hours. So that might be valuable. I say we start taking some screws out and look inside. I do love electric screwdrivers. They do make my life easier. I've reviewed a couple makers of screwdrivers, and I think it's hard to get a bad one. I bought this a while back. I saw another YouTuber have one, and I said to myself, you need one of those. That will make your life easy one day. Well, strangely enough, it worked on that one and that one, but not the last one. But us optics folks have split ring devices, because a lot of optics, a lot of lenses are held in with that technology. All right, I did get this metal case off. Cast aluminum, very nice. Axis shielding. And yeah, it's looks like single PC board. Let's see, there's a thing on the side here to hold the programming. That doesn't really matter then, does it? I think all we have to do is take out some more screws. All right, the speaker is soldered onto the board, so we need to remove that, and now the board comes out. There's the, can you zoom in a little bit here? See here, there's the speaker. There is a little connector here. Oh, that's for the push to talk in this button. So these go onto a little connector there, and this little flux connector goes to the programming port, and all of the see the little fingers there make contact for the push to talk thing. And if we take a look at the thing on top, there's really looks like there might be extra shielding for that particular RF area right there, that single chip, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like it all worked without it. And this is super teeny tiny stuff. This is the antenna connector. It goes over here. And I say, take it into the house, take a look at this thing under the microscope, see if we see anything interesting, a few tweaks on it. All right, here we are. Where to start? We can start on the antenna. So here's the antenna, and it comes into a cute little connector here. It's one of those, I never remember the names of these things. They're the ones that just snap onto the snap onto the board, snap on, snap off. They usually snap off and then never snap on again. Yeah, those things. Let me remove the end. Here's the antenna with a little coax attached to it. All right, so it comes in here. And it looks like there's an output filter. So that would be, let me get something to point with. I guess this will be all right. It comes in here. This would all be a filter. Looks like there's some protection diodes along the way. Inductor, a couple inductors. Comes along its merry way here. Looks like some load here for the amplifier. Where's the output? Something under here. We'll look at that. That's probably a preamp. That'd be my guess. Where is the final amplifier? Might be this guy or this guy. Let's see. It goes through here. And I got all these big. Is there anything on the bottom? I'm gonna check the bottom. Nope. Nothing on the bottom. Oh, we got some chips over here. We'll have to get to those. I think those are just power supply chips, probably. But this is the magic chip here. This is like the do-it-all chip. I'll do a chip at a day on that one because it's interesting enough. But it's a BK4819. You can do your own chip of the day, but I'll get to it. And then there's an op amp here, just a generic op amp, probably for the microphone circuit, would be my guess. Voltage regulator here, looks like a 3.3 volt regulator. Here's an interesting, kind of a more modern LM398, 386. You know, those audio amplifiers. This is like kind of a modern one, an LN4898. I'll do a chip in the day on those as well. Yeah. But like I said, it's going to come in here. It's going to go through here. Go along here. I guess it doesn't need much power. This might be the, that might be the amplifier there. I don't know. I'm not sure now. It's possible. It's possible that's the power amp right there. Pre-driver. Yeah, probably pre-driver and driver. Yeah, this is probably the biasing, the inductor and capacitor biasing this thing, and then a 0 ohms. For troubleshooting, you can remove that 0 ohms. Then it probably goes over this way. That makes sense. Got some big load resistors here, though. I don't know if that's for charging the battery or something else. I don't know. I don't know what this chip is. I tried to look it up, but I don't know. Raise your hand if you know what that one is. TA3785. Sounds like an audio chip. And then there's this thing here called Audio N. I think it might be an encoder. I think this one might have, encoding, scrambling capability. And it might be those two chips go together. Could be. Looks like there's a master clock there, and underneath a tweak to make sure that frequency is on track. And it looks like they decided they were going to put a can over this section, which is the radio on a chip, but then they decided not to. Yeah, interesting. Everything's much smaller than I like to work on. Surface mount. These are all teeny parts. 0402s are the big ones here, and then it goes down from there. So yeah, not good. Look at those little tiny guys there. Oh, they'd be tiny. They'd be tiny. This goes to the speaker. So it comes off this amplifier here. This is a 1 watt amp. It has one for the speaker, and there's another one down here, another 1 watt audio amp, which is maybe for the earphone. They have one for the speaker, one for the earphone if you put it in. And then on the back, we got a lot of stuff down here. I don't know what these chips are. I don't know what those are. Hanging out there. Anyway, these things are made to an incredibly low price point. They are crazy what they can sell these things for. I believe this is the same chip that the real popular, I don't remember the model number. There's one radio that kind of does it all, and it's got somebody cracked it and wrote a whole bunch of open source stuff to make it receive everything and do everything. I'm pretty sure they use that chip there. I want to find out what's under here. I think it's shielded up. Oops, it's shielded on both sides, which makes me believe it's a preamp. Okay, I think I figured it out. This is the drive transistor, and this side here. Let me not get my fingers on this. Yeah, this is heatsink grease, and this is the copper slug on the other side of the big transistor. So this is pre-driver, driver, and final amplifier. So this is it, and there's a screw here and a screw here that mount this final FET. So the FET is under this can here, and there's two screws that can hold it on. So let me see if I can't get that open. Wow, that is an RF amplifier and a chip. I think that deserves chip of the day there. So yeah, you can look that one up. It is plus 40 dBm output. Output power. Oh, wait a minute, 10 to 11 watts. Yeah, that'll do 10 to 11 watts, which is 40 to 41 dBm. Yeah, 40 dBm. So 10 watts, 1.8 to 600 megahertz. So yeah, an amplifier on a chip. Yeah, we'll do a chip of the day on that one. That is a cool chip. Okay, so we found the final. It was hiding, and makes sense. And this was, oops, and this one was another amplifier. So I was right on that one. But dunk dunk dunk, and then we go out our merry way, right into the connector there. So yeah, so it's going to go. The RF's going to come through this one, into this one, into this one, and then it will then come this way. It'll go through all of this filtering before it gets to the antenna output there. All right, there you go. Fun teardown for the day.